NFL draft analyst Daniel Jeremiah asked about the growing perception that Travis Hunter will be the Browns' pick at number 2 and how he views Hunter.
I would start offense. I'm kind of saying that through this process. It's different. First of all, we haven't seen something like this. Who's someone who wants to do everything on both sides. I don't think I would do that initially. I think you have to major and minor. And historically, if you have a player that has value there, he's been a full-time defensive player with a package of plays on offense. That's just been that's the way it's always been. We haven't really seen it the other way around, with the exception of maybe Troy Brown on a couple snaps for the Patriots. But to me, I think he's more valuable to your team on offense right now. I think he's further developed on offense. I think he touches the ball more. He just makes more of an impact. So I'm going to have him as a full-time starter at receiver, and we'll start there for a while, and then we can start maybe incorporating him into some defensive, packages if that's your dime, your nickel, whatever. But giving him, an opportunity to get on the field, make some plays on some third downs defensively, and maybe that grows and evolves into more than that over time. But that's where I would start with it, and I think you can get really excited if you're a Browns fan and you start thinking about what Jerry Jeudy did last year, and now we get a chance to throw Travis Hunter out there on offense as a really, really talented, explosive player who's outstanding with the ball in his hands. That would make the Browns really, really fun to watch. I can tell you that.
So welcome in Kenny Roda from the Kenny and JT Show, WHBC News Talk, 1480. Kenny, I was telling you, you can talk me into Hunter, Carter, Sanders. You can talk me out of Hunter, Carter, and Sanders. It's a scary place to be picking two where there isn't anybody that you're like, man, this guy's going to be a stud.
See, I'm going to disagree with you. I think Travis Hunter is going to be a stud. I think he's the pick. You sprint up to the podium, you turn in his name, you start him at wide receiver, and I agree with Daniel there, and you play him a little bit on defense, work him in on defense, third down situations, nickel back, whatever it is. He has said he wants to play both offense and defense, almost an ultimatum out there. That's why the Giants came out and said they'd play him both ways. They want him to be comfortable if they pick him. You had Andrew Berry the other day talk a little bit about that. They view him as a wide receiver first, but he compared him to Shohei Ohtani. Now, that might be a little bit of a stretch, but maybe not. I mean, I go back to, Dabo Swinney, and it hasn't aged well for the Cleveland Browns when Deshaun Watson came here, but Dabo Swinney said, you better draft him because he's the Michael Jordan of football and the future of football. Now, it hasn't worked out with the Browns. It looked like maybe Watson was going to be decent in Houston, and then the off-the-field issues hit, and it's been a disaster here. But to compare Hunter to Shohei, a little bit of a stretch, but we'll see. The kid's a winner everywhere he's gone. Heisman Trophy. He can play both ways. I think you take him and you worry about your quarterback in the second round or moving back into the first round.
Yeah, I don't have an issue with that. I don't love the idea of him playing both ways. Here's my question. If he's playing both ways, does he become as good at either one as he would be if he dedicates himself to, refining his route running and all the craft that goes into a wide receiver? And you ask the same thing about a cornerback. Now, he's talented, and you don't want to stun him. Anytime anybody mentions Ohtani, I got to tell you, remember, he had Tommy John surgery. He hasn't been able to pitch because he broke down.
Right. It's a great point. It really is. And I love the major-minor comparison there, too, from Daniel. So I get it. The Browns view him as a wide receiver. That's why they will draft him, to be their number one wide receiver. No offense to Jerry Jeudy, who's already in the NFL, but the upside for Travis Hunter is a wideout much greater than that of Jerry Jeudy. Nice 1-2 punch, irregardless of who's 1 and 2. You have them both on the field at the same time. And like I said, you work him in on defense. He's going to be better than, if not every one of your defensive backs, most of them other than Denzel Ward. I mean, I was looking at the R-Lad scouting guide, and I'll give these guys some love. I've been using these guys since 1999, right? They've got him as the number one wide receiver and the number one defensive back, so he can play both. The question is, where do you need him more if you're the Browns? And I think that's on offense. But as he has told you, he wants to play both. So you sprinkle in 10 to 15 plays on defense per game as he adjusts to being a wide receiver in the NFL as well as a cornerback.
Yeah, no, I love the idea of a number one wide receiver. The Browns definitely need one.